You actually talked about that in next episode.
Let me start that just section.
Yeah.
Just gonna do that. So Yay, you're here. Welcome to How to Be a Grown-Up with CK and GK. Let's get started. Flying by the seat of our pants for most things, including the thing that we claim to be professional at, which is podcasting. I've been doing this now for I don't know how many years. 4? Anyway, hi guys. It's the first.
Really?
Yeah, I think
4?
so. Well, this is the first episode of season 5.
Yeah.
So
damn. Time blindness.
I know. Time blindness is real. Also, by the way, if someone says to me 10 or 15 years ago, I immediately retreat to the 90s. So, like, I have no concept of time, right? Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, it's the first episode of season 5. Can you even believe it? We're so glad you're here. If you've stuck with us for this long, thank you. It's wow. It's just wow. This is How to Be a Grown-Up. This is the how-to show for any woman who's ever said, my meds just kicked in and I am dangerously productive right now. Happens sometimes. We've got Ariella Monti here, novelist and sparkling fountain of wisdom and glitter.
Oh,
here
thank
she
you
is.
so much.
Yeah. Here she is. Today we're talking about ADHD and money. It's a very dangerous topic, specifically like financial challenges that we have, and then how to kind of overcome these financial challenges, because Lord knows that impulsivity when it comes to money is rough. So before we do that, though, in honor of our 5th season beginner opener, whatever that word is, please make sure you're subscribed to this show. Hit subscribe, hit follow, do whatever it is you need to do on your favorite podcast apps so that you don't miss an episode. You know? Whatever.
Because you don't want to be left out.
No, FOMO is real. And this is the kind of, this is the kind of FOMO where it's like, you don't even have to like RSVP and then feel like you want to back out. You don't even have to be flaky about it, right? You can
Exactly.
That's my favorite kind of like JOMO, like joy of missing out. When I'm like, yeah, that sounded fun when I said yes, 3 weeks ago, but now I just want to stay in my bed in my pajamas. So you don't have to worry about that with this. You can just like hit subscribe and then listen when it's convenient for you.
Right. Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
Okay. So teach me about my issues with money, because I have that. Because Amazon, there's a reason Jenny's not allowed to have an Amazon account anymore. And there's a reason that I push all my orders to one day of the week, because it's rough.
Those are the kinds of things that we'll talk about today. But all of the disclaimers, because I am not at all qualified, either academically or professionally, to give financial advice.
Oh my God, can you imagine? No.
In grad school, I took one accounting class and I got a C in it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well done. I know you're anti-math in general, so you getting a C, I'm actually quite impressed. Good job.
Right, exactly. I had to work hard for that C. It's the only C I got in grad school. All right. I'm thinking about all the money I spent on grad school for that C, and just to get that obsolete degree in publishing.
Right. Oh,
okay.
Gosh.
So I just need everyone to know that this is just a primer on why people with ADHD tend to struggle with their finances. I have been struggling with managing money since I was getting an allowance from my parents, when I was using that allowance to buy Tiger Beat magazines, to rip pictures of Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Devin Sawa and put them on my walls.
Oh, good choices, though.
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Excellent choices.
Of course. Exactly.
Devin Sawa, if you're listening, you're still 13-year-old me's ideal. Anyway, okay. My husband kind of
He
looks
liked
like
a
him
comment
now too.
of mine.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he looks for, I don't know if he looks for it or if he like actually pays attention, but if you mention him, he will respond in a lot
Right.
of situations. It's pretty
My
funny.
my 12-year-old self died when he liked a comment of mine, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh my goodness, my
teenage,
life is complete." Yeah.
right? Like that's it. I'm good."
Yeah, between that and my like Lisa Loeb tweet, like that's
Oh
it.
yeah,
It's done. It's done. That made me so
exactly.
happy. I'm over. It's finished. Nothing else to say. Okay. So,
Right.
Devon Sawa magazines.
Right. So that's what I was blowing my money on when I was blowing my allowance on back in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do want to also acknowledge that a lot of financial advice and a lot of financial information is written by and for people with a certain amount of financial privilege.
For
And
real.
how ADHD intersects with finances is just one part of an extremely nuanced conversation about money. I am acknowledging that those pieces exist, and today we're just going to focus on this one tiny part of it because, to circle back, I got a C in accounting. And I am not professionally or academically qualified to talk about all of those nuances.
Yeah, and I think there's also something to be said for like just money in general is such a controversial topic. Like it's kind of one of those things that people tend to avoid at dinner tables, right? Because it's like it feels rude or whatever. But I think especially for millennials who've experienced recessions, and I feel like our generation in particular has experienced so much trauma with the world happenings, right? We had 9/11, we had the dot-com bubble, we had the house. Like there's so many different things that our generation has experienced. Money, our parents are boomers who had different experiences with money, and trying to explain those, but also navigate these challenges is really important. So you add that layer to this ADHD layer, and you're absolutely right that any time you're talking about money, it does sound like it's coming from a place of privilege, and that's not the intent here. And I will say I've skimmed through some of these pieces of advice you've provided, and these are not like, whatever the people are on Shark Tank who are like, well, if you just did this, if you just stop buying avocado toast, you'll have, it's not about that. Yeah. It's not about,
this isn't,
it's not about like, here's how I made my first 6 figures. It's not a LinkedIn post, right? Like this is purely about like what specific ADHD money challenges we have, and then specific ways you might be able to ease that impulsivity and issue with money that you may or may not be experiencing.
Right. Exactly. So the sources and the resources that I pulled some of this information from, not only, from our existence as just ADHD millennials who are bad with money, also chad.org, the mini ADHD coach, and verywellmind.com. And those are all in the show notes.
Yes.
And so let's get started. So, how does ADHD worsen financial challenges? It's very much the same thing, the same kind of symptoms that we've been talking about with like everything else.
Right. Like you just didn't realize it also impacted your finances, but it's like it's literally all of it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the same symptoms that makes it hard for you to like keep your desk organized is also why it's hard to manage your finances. Mm-hmm. So executive dysfunction is like the biggest one. Disorganization. This is the losing invoices, losing bills, losing paychecks if they're not direct deposited. When I was freelancing, I once lost a paycheck that was mailed to me and completely forgot that I had received it. And so I invoiced the client again.
Oh, no.
And then had to like work, then I like worked that money off like with the next assignments.
Oh, no.
You've got doom piles of mail and just stuff like on your countertop. This is also connected to task initiation issues. So we put off handling our bills because it's multiple tasks kind of in one task. It might not just be like paying that doctor's bill. It might be, putting in 1,000 different passwords for, to log into your MyChart account. Ugh. And then like selling the soul of your firstborn child in order to check the email.
Or like mine will be, I'll actually like pull it all together. I'll have the Doom file now in my hand and I'll be like ready to go through the stack one by one and pay the bills. And then I'm like, oh, my wallet's in the other room. I have to go get it because I don't have my card numbers memorized because that would be extremely dangerous for me. So then I'm like, now I have to get up. And it just and all of a sudden it becomes a much harder task, even though it's 14 steps to the other room and then 14 steps back. But like it's just that kind of it's that mentality too. It makes it harder.
Exactly.
Ugh. And I get embarrassed. It's triggering.
Right. It's very triggering. So and this is something that I have been dealing with for a long time is I would literally rather do anything else than handle paying the bills because it triggers so much guilt and shame and anxiety. And like when you throw in, being financially insecure where like you have to decide like, am I going to pay this bill or am I going to pay this bill? Or now you're seeing like your credit card debt, go through the roof.
Like,
right. Like at that point, like if I just put it over here and ignore it,
I'll forget about it if it goes underneath this one thing. Right.
Right.
Or just move it up to the side.
Right.
Oh, now I don't have to think about it anymore. But then you feel bad about that too. And then you get anxious about the bills that you haven't paid or anxious about when you do pay it, how much money you're going to have left. Like there's so many other pieces of, it's a very emotional experience. Money is already emotional for everyone. And then you add in this other element of like shame spiraling, which we've discussed in a previous episode. And it just makes it so much harder to handle.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Because like it wants to purposely make themselves feel bad. I mean, I mean, nobody is wired that way, but ADHD people are definitely not wired that way. So,
right.
Another big issue, time blindness, because time is meaningless. And it also feels like everything is a priority or nothing is a priority.
Yeah.
So it either needs to be done immediately or it just never needs to be done ever. So this is the getting a bill and then being like, okay, I'll pay that later. And then 3 weeks go by and now it's due.
Oops.
It happens a lot with stuff that is taking place in the far future. So, I mean, we could talk about our chances of ever retiring in another episode. But fundamentally, I came from a family who was very mindful of saving for retirement. And so I know I should be squirreling away money for large expenses, way off in the future. But I get way more dopamine by planning a weekend getaway for next month.
Or starting a new hobby and buying all the things for it. And suddenly you're $300 in and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have spent that because you not only did you not use it, because once the dopamine hit right away, you stopped caring about the items that you bought. But that $300 is something you could have put towards a weekend getaway or your retirement, right? There's just
exactly.
It's little things too.
So that ties in perfectly with the impulsiveness because we're so low dopamine. We are looking for more dopamine. And this is where I have it in the notes here when I was writing all of this up. Cue Ariella realizing she forgot to take her meds this morning.
Me too. Yeah. I forgot.
I have since taken them. But when I was writing this up, I was like, oh yeah, thinking in my head, store-bought dopamine is great. I forgot to take mine today.
Yeah, I haven't taken it yet. Oops. It's okay.
That instant gratification of seeing a TikTok about embroidery and then like buying all the materials
Which
for
I
this
still
hobby that you
have.
might.
I started embroidery and I still have an unfinished like thing. And I'm actually like decent at it because I have ADHD and I'm decent at a lot of things. And I just never finished it.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And
Yep.
and that there's more dopamine in that than saving for retirement,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't even know will happen.
Right. I don't even know if I'll ever retire. So,
No.
like,
Right.
YOLO.
Right. I mean, that's a whole, like, if somebody hasn't studied, like, the way millennials are basically, like, throwing away, like, their thoughts on retirement, like,
Well,
somebody should study.
Right. And then all the BuzzFeed articles that are like, if you have an adult money now, look at these cool things you can buy. And it's like a weird penguin light. And you're like, yes, I do need that because what is retirement? Like I have adults.
Exactly.
I can do what I want.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's one of them is all the hobbies. What else? What else are we going to stupidly do?
The big one that I experienced when I was working in an office with other people is like the buying lunch or bringing lunch. And then your coworkers are like, I'm going to go to this, I'm going to go do Moe's Monday or Pizza Friday. And now you're like, oh, cool. I would much rather have a Moe's burrito than the turkey sandwich that I brought.
You also justify it because you're like, but see, if I do that, then I already have my lunch made for tomorrow. So I don't have to, I can leave this in the fridge here and then I have it for tomorrow and I'm all good. I don't have to pack lunch tonight. So that you play weird mind games with yourself with that stupid stuff.
Exactly.
Too.
And like, I think this cycle of like making my lunch, bringing my lunch, not eating my lunch because my friends are going out to eat and then spending money that I didn't have to spend, like could have diagnosed me with ADHD
Just
in my early 20s. Like that alone, I think would have been like, yep, there you go. And then, I mean, when we think about impulsiveness, like any in-person shopping experience, like especially when we were all shopping at Target, like,
oh man, Target was my kryptonite.
Yeah,
it was my. Yeah. I would stop at Target on the way home from work, just for like the dopamine hit, like just to walk through the Target and be like, oh, look at these cute earrings that I'll wear 3 times and never. But look, they're cats. Look how cute. Like just stupid stuff like that. But yes.
Right. Oh. Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
And so all of these symptoms and all of these challenges tend to turn into the ADHD tax, which is just this. I don't know that it's like a scientific term, but it is definitely a colloquial term for the extra money that we spend as a result of our ADHD symptoms. So it's the fresh produce that never gets used and just rots in your crisper. It's the late fees for paying a bill that was after its due. It's the increased interest rates because all those late bills ended up going to collections. Not that, I'm taking out loans anytime
Payday
soon.
Loans. Oh, man.
Right. Like, yeah. And then, like, even stuff like buying a second item because you lost the first,
that literally just happened to me. I have a hat that I wear for I go on my walks, and it is one of those ones that you can like put your hair through it, so it like has kind of a cutout hole on the back. And I was like, oh, I like this gray hat. I can't seem to find mine. I'll just buy this other one. It's not expensive. But to me, opening this hat and then turning around to hang it up. And where is the other hat? On the exact hook I'm going to hang up the new hat on. And I was like, really? Like, you did this. This is what you did. This is stupid. Why did you do that? And being so angry at myself and then guilt and shame. And I was like, and someone's like, well, you could have just sent it back. And then what did my stupid self do? I was like, no, because if I lose this one, then I have the other. Like, you justify. Oh my gosh, it was so. Yeah. I shame spiraled over that for several hours that day. Yeah. Like just beating myself up over an $11 hat.
Right.
Oh.
The earbuds that I'm using today, because my other headphones are dead. That they need to be charged. So the ones that I'm wearing right now, I have two pairs of them
Mm-hmm.
because I lost one pair, couldn't find them anywhere for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and was just like, screw it. At the time I was working out a lot, so I needed something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went and bought a new pair. And then I think it was like 2 weeks later, I found the other ones.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And like, these weren't cheap. I mean, they're not like AirPods, but they were like $60. But now I have one that I keep in my car and one that I keep in the house. So like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll make it
it's
work, but it's
Right.
so frustrating when you do stuff like that. And I don't mean
Right.
you, but like when a person who with this
Right.
deals with this, it's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's actually like address this, because I think a lot of the times in our episodes we're like, here's the problems, come back next week for solutions. But I think we got to talk about what some solutions are for this. Like this would be
Absolutely
good.
So these are just some ideas. Some came from the resources that I talked about earlier. Some are things that I or my friends have done that have found helpful. So like we say, with all of these kinds of ideas, take what you need, leave what you don't. Your mileage will vary.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is always going to be like, work with a financial planner or an advisor who did much better in accounting than I did. Somebody who's actually certified or whatever professional licenses are required. They can help you figure out your long and your short-term goals. Somebody like a financial coach could help you establish a budget and a system for sticking to that budget. That is something that my husband and I did a few years ago. We worked with a financial coach who actually also has ADHD. So she understood a lot of my challenges. And we came up with just kind of a budgeting system that has worked. Nothing works perfectly ever, but has worked reasonably well and has been reasonably successful compared to the chaos before that.
Yeah. At least someone who's kind of, objective third party who's like, hey, these are things you could be doing and these are things you should be doing. And then having that person kind of check in with you every so often is probably a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And, when we're talking about financial privilege, yes, those services do come with a price. I do believe that there are some nonprofits out there and other resources that are either free or low cost. There might be resources at your library. So it can kind of run the gamut of like spending money to save money.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Budget and home finance apps. So I don't know if you use any, but personally, I can't recommend any because I don't use them. But I know that I have a ton of friends that do. If you're going to use one, I would recommend asking a neurodivergent friend. Mm-hmm. Don't ask your neurotypical friend which one they use.
No.
Ask the friend who has a lot of the same challenges that you do.
Yeah, I signed myself up for NerdWallet. There's a free and a premium service. I just use the free service. Sometimes just the email alone that says like, hey, good job, your credit score went up. You're like, yes, like it's just enough of the hit that you need. Or sometimes a little guilt and shame is a good thing, right? Where it'll say like, hey, you spent this much on clothes. Do you even wear these clothes? You work from home. You don't need nice clothes. Like you can wear a t-shirt. It doesn't say that, but it will say like, you spent this much on XYZ this month. Just have that in your head. And you're like, oh yeah. Right. So that's the one I use, and it can like pull together all of your stuff for you. I've also heard lots of good things about Rocket Money, which is the app that searches for your subscription services that you're not using, and then it will help you cancel them, which for ADHD people, I think that should be included in the ADHD tax of like all the stuff we sign up for on a whim, but then don't actually end up using. So something to think about there.
Right. Exactly. You skipping ahead on my little like idea list. A tip for that I got, I think it was our friend Joanna who said it, the turning off the auto renew, like as soon as you sign up for something. Yeah, I have gotten better about that.
Yeah,
If
smart.
it's like a non-essential subscription, because that week is going to turn into like a full month, like in a
Yep.
blink. So
Yep. Yep.
like sign up for it and then pretty much immediately cancel the subscription because you're still going to get the full,
You get the full
like,
year. You're just not,
yeah,
yeah. Or the trial,
right.
whatever it is that you tried out for. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
So smart.
For this, it could be bank dependent, but it have two checking accounts. So one, and this is actually what we do and what we have found to be really helpful is your direct deposit and your monthly, like your consistent monthly bills are all go in and come out of one checking account. And then the other one is the one that money goes into for all of the like regular spending that or even non-essential spending. So that's what you pull out of like when you go to the doctor or you go out to eat or something. So it's kind of like you're using your out of sight, out of mind to your advantage because all of your bills and stuff are all going in and coming out of one pot that you're not touching for stuff like groceries.
Yeah, you could even take it a step further and say like that account doesn't have a debit card, or if it does,
Right.
you don't carry that debit card with you.
Right.
It stays in one
Exactly.
place all the time. You never get to touch it.
Right.
So that means you can't use it because it's not with you.
Right.
And then just make sure everything is auto paid. Auto pay
Yes.
is your friend. Like
Right.
sign everything up for that for sure.
Right. Right. Definitely. I had intentions of doing this, but I didn't know. I had intentions of doing this and then like never followed through with it. Like, a lot of ADHD
Very
people
ADHD
do.
of you.
Right, exactly. But what I was planning on doing was getting some kind of like reloadable debit card, or actually like my PayPal account has something like that, where basically you put money on it and then you can use it for non-essential spending. You have to check the fees on this though, because how they charge you. I think for the PayPal one that I was planning on using, I don't think there were any fees associated with it because I was basically just putting my like money that was already in my PayPal account like onto it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And that was what I was going to use for like going to the coffee shop and stuff like that. And I never did because it was an extra step.
Right.
But it could be something that works for someone else.
If Amazon is your kryptonite, I'm not pointing any fingers at myself, but I'm totally pointing fingers at myself. Consider like a reloadable gift card or like a monthly allowance that you put towards that. So it's like you only get to spend, $75 a month on Amazon. And then when that $75 is done, you're done. And you don't have backup payment methods stored inside there so that you can't overspend. So something like that might be really helpful for you if you know that there is a thing that your kryptonite is absolutely attached to for sure. So something like that.
Definitely. And like, speaking of Amazon, like cancel Prime. Like if you or like just seriously consider it because having to wait longer for something or pay for shipping is going to throw up a speed bump. And the stuff that you think you need right away, you might not actually need right away.
Yeah.
We canceled Prime, and you can still have subscribe and save while not being a Prime member.
Right.
I think like we did for a long time, we thought you had to be a Prime member and also to have subscribe and save.
Nope.
And that's not the case. We canceled Prime in January, and I can honestly tell you that it's decreased a lot of my impulse purchases. I think I put a lot more intention into what I buy and stuff because I either have to pay for shipping, it's going to take me forever to get it, or when you're not a Prime member, there are some things where the price is more expensive, so it's a little bit higher. So all of those things kind of throw up a few like roadblocks. Now, that being said, if Prime is something that is an accommodation for you, it makes certain things more accessible that you need to survive and exist. Like, please keep using, keep using it. This is just something that if you're looking to slow down your, you don't have impulse control when it comes to it, this is just another strategy.
Well, and you are the one who turned me on to the only buying things on certain days of the week. Like only getting to you have things only delivered on Sundays, or you only get to pull the trigger on Sundays. And I'm the queen of put it in my cart and then leave it there and like move it to save for later or whatever. And most of the time, if I move it to save for later, I don't purchase it. It's just something that it's almost like a wish list of things that I saw on BuzzFeed that I feel like I want to have, but then I don't actually end up buying it. So something like that could be really helpful. And then that way, like, if you're like, oh, I need this one thing overnight because it's medicine for my dog. But I can't get overnight shipping unless I add, unless I hit $25 worth of whatever, then I can go to my save for later and I can go, okay, but I actually do kind of want this mascara now, like because I'm out of mascara, I can move it up to my cart and then I can get, you know what I'm saying? Like it's sort of like that for me, but I still only will actually let myself purchase things one day a week. And it's been, that alone has been very helpful. And I'm sure my husband appreciates the fact that there's not just like boxes showing up at our house all the time. Although when Christmas time comes around, it's all bets are off. But still, for now, it helps.
Exactly. And I think going along with that, like the save, moving things to like the saved can also work as like a visual wish list. Kind of like, what Pinterest used to be. Like, let's have...
Seriously, yeah.
And you can still use Pinterest as a visual wish list. Like, what I end up doing is, like, I take a picture of a thing, and then I add it to a running list in my Notes app, and then why I wanted to buy it. Because very often, I will forget if I go and I impulsively buy something... And then I get home and then whatever I needed it for, I can't handle like immediately and a couple of days go by. Like I will completely forget what I wanted it for.
Yeah.
Right. And so, so say I walked into Target, saw a basket. I will take a picture of the basket. I will write what I wanted to use the basket for and but not buy it because I know I'm not going to be able to handle that tackle that project immediately. And then like a week or so later, I might find something at home that satisfies the need that I was going to, use for this basket.
That is a very good idea. I love that idea because I am the queen of like, I need this to organize. And then I have 50 baskets in my house and I don't need that much stuff. So yeah, I think that's a really good one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. And then I kind of do it backwards too. So I'm still trying to find like the right containers and organizational system for all of my like book event stuff. And what I'll end up doing is I'm like, oh, this is a perfect bin for my postcards. And I'll bring it home and the postcards are too big for the bin. So
then what do you do? Do you take the bin back or do you keep it? Because I'm a person who will keep it.
I'll keep it. I will find a use for it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. I'll find a way to use this.
Right. But it still doesn't solve the problem of... So what I'll do is if I'm not specifically shopping for something, I will either take a picture of take the postcard. So what I'll do is I will measure everything, and then make little notes so that when I am in say Kohl's and I find something, I could be like, this might fit in my XYZ. And then I can check and see, oh, but XYZ is actually 2 inches shorter. I can't use this for that. And then I won't end up buying something that doesn't fit.
Yeah. Smart.
Body double. body doubling is good for all of those organizational...
Everything. Literally everything.
Oh, everything.
It's good for everything. Everything.
It's good for
all the
everything.
Things
yeah.
you want to do. It's good for.
Right. I have used body doubling most successfully with going through those doom piles of mail and filing and stuff. So I will hang out with a friend who also has ADHD, and either we will do projects, or I will do the thing that I need to do, and they will like just sit there and talk to me, you know?
Yeah.
I did go through bills that I had set aside with my therapist. I texted her or emailed her before our session, and I was like, hey, can we spend the hour like organizing my bills? And like, yeah, that's what I did. Like, and we're virtual. So I was like in my office going through everything. And then it was good because she was able to be like, how are you feeling right now? Like, what is this bringing up for you? And like work through like, and she went as far as actually like making notes of the things that I haven't paid, like the bills that had to be handled.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't like ask her to do that, but she was like, okay, well, while you're doing that, I'll make little like notes and stuff. So
that's amazing. And like, and also it's kind of, it's like when you have a fidget thing in front of you. And so you almost talk more freely because you have something else occupying you in a way. And that's a really interesting idea. You've talked about that before, but it hadn't occurred to me how helpful it might have been for something like this. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Use that divergent thinking of ours. You know, we talked about divergent thinking, like how we can kind of see a thing and then we can, you know, think of different ways to like use a thing.
Yep.
And so just like think out of the box for strategies that might work for you, even if they're kind of unorthodox. So like, you know, if a digital calendar is too out of sight, out of mind, like use a paper one, use Post-it notes, you know, use the tools that are going to help you be successful. I hate spreadsheets, so I track all of my business expenses using a Google form. And then the Google form turns everything into a spreadsheet. And I don't know why it's easier for me to track my expenses like that, but it is. I say that as though I don't have a stack of receipts from an event I did in July still sitting over by my desk. But it will be easier when I eventually get to it.
Yeah. I love that idea. You've mentioned that to me before. I think it's genius, personally. Anything you can turn into a form. If you hate spreadsheets, you might as well like just do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Use your pathological demand avoidance to your advantage. Okay. So be petty and be spiteful for your benefit.
Oh. So happy. Tell me everything about this idea.
Right. So a lot of the things we love, especially about online shopping, is put in place specifically to get us to buy more of it. It's free returns and free shipping. Like the system is specifically geared to make us impulsive and to tap into our impulsive tendencies. So just be petty about it. Like if they want you to add $15 for free shipping, be like, no, capitalism, I'm not gonna.
Oh my gosh. I love this so because I love a nice petty moment. I am that girl, right? I'm so basic. I love a good petty moment. So if this is my opportunity to do it, yes, I'm doing it.
Yes. Oh, I mean,
nice big finger to capitalism.
Pretty much. Like, you know, I am one of those people who have ridiculously downsized my Target spending since they ended their DEI policies.
Yeah, me too.
And so now it's like, some of it is like my core values and my morals. And the other part of it is just spite. Like, no. Target, like I'm going to go to Staples and get my office. I'm going to get my school supplies there at Staples.
Yeah.
instead of Target.
I won't buy a cute shirt that goes along with it. So, because there isn't one.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm just going to Staples and I'm just buying office supplies, which, I mean, not for nothing. I could do a lot of damage in Staples.
Yeah, me too. I have before. When I was teaching, I used to do a lot of damage in Staples. But also, like the impulse, like the little treat for myself, it wasn't like a t-shirt and jeans or whatever. It was like a candy bar that you would get in the aisle at the end. And like, how much more, you know, it was still the same dopamine hit. It was like, oh, I got a candy bar. It was exactly the same feeling. It was just that, you know, and it was just a cheaper one. It was cheaper dopamine hit, cheaper little.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think it's great. Power that spite. I'm here for it.
Exactly. Like use spite to your advantage. Like just,
yeah,
I mean,
there
just
are
go
days
for it. Like
where I'm totally powered by coffee and spite. Like it's all, it's all good.
Exactly. And the last one, I think, it's more of a mindset shift. It's, you know, looking at some of our ADHD taxes, the things that we pay more for as part of our ADHD, like looking at it as an accommodation that helps us not just save money, but like helps us exist in just a less stressful way. So like, the chopped salad kit is more expensive than buying all of the ingredients separately. But if I get all of the ingredients separately and then I have to put the salad together, I may as well just take all that stuff and throw it in the garbage as soon as I bring it home, because that's where it's going to end up.
Yes.
Like,
feel that in my bones.
Right. Meanwhile, the chopped salad kit is all I got to do is open up the bag and put it in a bowl.
Yep.
My husband makes baked chicken, you know, he like meal preps, and he will make him like a couple of days worth of like baked chicken. And he asked me like, do you want me to just make more? And I will, so you could use it ready, salads and stuff.
Salad. Yeah, exactly.
Right. No. But my answer was no. I want to keep using these frozen breaded chicken tenders are more expensive. But the sensory experience of crispy chicken I'm more likely to eat that chicken salad with the chicken tenders than I am the baked chicken, which, it's not like, my husband's not from the Midwest. Like, he puts spices on it. Like, it's like...
What's so funny is you were describing your breaded chicken and his chicken, and I realized that my eyes were closed and I was like starting to salivate. Chicken tenders. Hurts me like maybe I should just open my eyes, because how creepy is it that I'm just sitting here like nodding my head back and forth and like kind of rocking myself while she's talking about chicken. But it's totally, like if you're going to have a salad, having like some crispy chicken skin or something, like something bright, that makes it so much better than just baked naked chicken that, I get it. I get it. It's not even bad. Yeah. It's just that I don't want it.
Right. Another the final one that is really big with us is, I mean, granted, like my son has a very restrictive palate, so we always have strawberries, but like fresh strawberries are way more expensive than frozen strawberries. But I'm not going to put frozen strawberries in my yogurt because they give me the ick. And
do people actually let strawberries thaw and then eat them? Is that a thing? Like, I don't do that. I use my frozen strawberries for like a dog treat and like I put them in my smoothie. It's like, I know. Ew. Of course you don't put those in your yogurt. That's disgusting. I can't. I'm sorry. I feel like I've just offended some people and I just can't do it. Oh my God.
And this is why we will pay more for the fresh strawberries, because it's either eat fruit or not. Like,
right. There is no, yes. If you would like me to eat any fruit at all, then you need to make sure it's a texture that I can handle. Otherwise, no.
Exactly.
I actually just saw a Reddit thread about this that was like, what's the food that everyone is like, oh my God, I love it so much, and you just cannot stand it? And a lot of people are like, avocados, which I can understand. Avocados on their own without any flavor, like there's nothing to them. Like, that's gross. I can have guacamole and I will put everything but the bagel seasoning all over my avocado toast. but I don't just eat avocado. Like, that's weird.
Right.
But mine was bananas because it was I cannot, like, the texture of a banana. Like, I don't mind the flavor, but a texture.
I don't like the flavor.
I don't love it, but I actually really like banana Laffy Taffies because it's like that synthetic.
Oh,
I love that. Like, those are good, but I will eat banana bread and I will put frozen bananas in my smoothies, but I cannot stand banana. And the idea of a frozen strawberry, like, that texture just gives me the same vibe. Like, I don't.
Right.
If you're gonna.
Yeah.
You're right. If it's more expensive now, but you'll actually use it and or eat it or whatever, it might be worth it to pay that ADHD tax to make it happen.
Exactly. And that, like, you can find examples of that in, like, food's the easiest one, but you can find examples of that, I think, everywhere. Even like keeping Prime, when, like, it would be cheaper to get rid of Prime, but if, like, keeping it is better for your mental health for one reason or another.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do it,
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
So it's so I think the mind, like, yes, we do have the ADHD tax for some things, but then on the other end of it, don't really, like, if you're going to think about it as a tax, think of it as, like, the times when taxes are actually used for good things, like national parks and feeding children.
That's what government does, Ron. It provides services to people. Right. No, totally. Think of it as providing a service for yourself.
Right.
Be fine with it. It's okay. All right. Well, in the end, money is the worst.
Screw capitalism.
Money is terrible. Screw capitalism. Is apparently the way, but it's not helping anyone right now at the moment. If you're one of the top 1%, you're probably not listening to this show, so whatever. No big deal. Who cares? Like, you're listening to all your money as it, like, jingles in your pocket or whatever the heck. You don't have coins. Never mind. It's like Richie Rich. Never mind. Okay. So next week we are, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're actually going to tackle this topic. We're talking about ADHD and hormones, like, not men's hormones. We're talking about women's hormones and how they impact ADHD. And I've already started researching this and I'm already angry. So if you are a feminist, get ready, girls. You're going to want to burn your bra. This is rough. And all the ways that we should be getting additional support for our issues, and we're not. So we'll get into, this is going to be a multi-parter. There's no way around it. So make sure you're sticking around for that. Subscribe now so you don't miss it. We will be back in a GIF or a GIF. I don't know. How are you supposed to say that word?
It's GIF because it's back in a jiffy.
Yeah, I just meant the word GIF though, like the actual image.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
You
know what?
Yeah.
I think it's meant to be GIF, but nobody says that because it's got a G.
Right.
Guys, we're so good at this. I'm professional. Okay, y'all. POV. You find a diary exposing forbidden magic, and the hot museum caretaker's life depends on you burning it. Roots in Ink, the debut novel by Ariella Monti, is the fantasy romance for rebels. Use promo code CK and GK to get 20% off your copy at ariellamonti.com. Again, that's all caps CKANDGK for 20% off on ariellamonti.com. Get your copy for 20% off today. Okay. No one cares, Caitlin. No one cares. This is high quality content that everyone wants to listen to. The merits of the word GIF versus GIF, right? Yeah.
We could do a whole episode on that.
Ugh, who wants to listen to that? No moms care about that.
You'd be surprised.
Really? Also, I'm just going to be very transparent about why I don't have anything that I've gotten done and why I don't have any hyperfixations about anything right now. My dog is special. She is a very special girl. She's a very high needs dog, and I don't just mean like, I mean like legitimately high needs. She has severe idiopathic epilepsy, and if you are a parent of an epileptic dog, please reach out, because this is some of the hardest stuff I've ever experienced in my life. Think of like your friend with the really colicky baby, or maybe you were that person who had the very colicky baby and the baby never stopped crying. It's like that for 3 days after my dog has cluster seizures, and she's super high needs all the time. If she's in that post-ictal, post-seizure period, she's really hard. So there are going to be times where I'm not myself, where I'm not posting online, where I'm not a functioning human being, and it has nothing to do with the amount of meds I may or may not have taken. It's just because she's like keeping me awake for 3 nights in a row, or like I will be holding this dog's face. She's so anxious in these post-ictal periods. I'll be holding her face and telling her like, I love you. Mommy's here. You're safe. And she's crying. Like she's crying, and we've tested to see if she's in pain. She's not in pain. She's just anxious. And she's also been diagnosed with some behavioral disorders. Three behavioral disorders. And I'm like, listen, I'm so glad that like that my family is handling all this as well as they are, because I am losing my mind with her, and she's special and I adore her, and I have no intention of giving up on her at all. She's just hard. So if anyone is in that position, like, just please know that you have someone else who is there with you and can identify. And I'll go into I'm sure there'll be a whole episode about how to manage this sort of thing at some point. But I wanted to give that little glimpse into my life, because I got nothing, like there's literally nothing else that I can, she is my hyperfixation right now. Like just trying to get her
absolutely
to a place where she lets us sleep at night. It's so bad that like the notes from the day she was at the vet read like a horror story. They were like, she needed multiple pharmacological interventions to help her calm down. It's like, oh man, how bad was it? But it was so bad that she was supposed to have a test done 4 hours after her last med dose, and then 12 hours after her last med dose. And they let her go 10 and a half hours after, because they were like, she needs to go home. Like she's such a mess. So yeah, my poor baby. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there as like anyone who needs any kind of support or is living with a extremely challenging, like medically challenging dog or pet or anything, you have somewhere else to turn to. But that's my life at this point. So back to GIFs, way more entertaining. We'll be back in a GIF. No, next week. We'll be back next week with our conversation about ADHD and hormones. Until then, as Jenny would say, make good choices. Love y'all. Mean it. Thanks for sticking with us. Here's to season 5. Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.